Hi, hello, welcome to 1111 Divine Lovers Series, brought to you by Vertex of Abundance. My name is Serene Priestess Gorgeous, also known as the Blosi Baba, FKA, AKA, DBA, on and on and on, ad nauseum infinitum. Lately it's been Safkiel. This is the Divine Partnership edition of the 1111 Divine Lovers series, again brought to you by Vertex of Abundance. We're going to go ahead and get in. For me personally, a couple things, housekeeping. Yeah, we've been on ratchet protocols. Things are just messy. Excuse me. There's been a lot of cleansing and clearing and purification, so that will shift and change. Yours truly, Chief here, needed to move some caca out of the way. Another message, general housekeeping. Normally we do the Divine Partnership Assessment, which is an 11 by 11 card. It's a 22 card reading, 11 by 11 position spread. So we're actually checking the record because the third thing, it's still 22 cards, but we're checking the record. You know, Sagittarius, Gemini, that little corridor is the most in alignment with the actual, it's the most in alignment with the actual divine partnership energy. So I made a quick blurb. I will post that about our take on the 1111 energies. I would also love it if you can just check the show notes from now on. There'll be a space for any promotions going on. There'll also be a space for additional reading, additional resources, things related to the video that I'm making, and there'll also be a contact section, okay? And grant me just a moment here. Okay, so we need to get the sermon ready. So that was it, the check-in. It's still a 22 card reading, but it's not the Divine Partnership Assessment. We're opening up the record just to kind of streamline, reconcile, re-sync in, retune in to all the energies. We've missed a few Divine Partnership Assessments. We've missed a few Revolving Door Assessments, Revolving Door Series editions, and we're gonna get back in the stream of things, even though it's still Ratchet Protocol, meaning it's just messy, a little bit ratchet. We can get on message, get on point here. So let's start with the sermon. So the sermon is actually rather strong. It didn't want to move. And the ascending energy will be Gemini, the lovers. So the victory of Miriam. I love the name Miriam. Let us march on till victory is won. Keep hearing that since we started the channel here, open the channel. Also, hold your head up high with resplendent grace. Only let them see dignity on your face. Let it be known that you have moved on and grown. No matter how they oppose you, only ease and joy will be shown. Okay, so that's not for me. I would love to, I'm gonna have to rewind to remember what I just said to you. That was for somebody. Okay, my email address to me personally directly, temporary right now, is baba@ablosi.org. I have another name after homecoming. It's just not yet safe to say it. You know, more protection magic, witches come for you every day. Y'all know how it is. I'm gonna have that narrative right now, but other people deal with the same issue. It doesn't make me special. It's just a lot. There's darkness in the world emerging right now because it's being kicked out. baba@ablosi.org. If you want to contact for the mystery school or any promotions that are going on, you can always contact sales@vertexofabundance.org, especially if you need like a refund or to change a booking or to change your membership for the mystery school or the gigante, the library. Sales@vertexofabundance.org. Okay, Oracle@vertexofabundance.org for the mystery school. Baba@ablosi.org to contact me directly. All that information is in the show notes, as well as additional resources and any promotions that are going on. And we're gonna just call this video number 1, as if it was a brand new channel, just so that it'll be easy to clear away the ratchet when we do kind of clean things up and get organized. I want to say again, hi, hello, and welcome. Hi, hello, how are ya? It's good to see you again. It's good to welcome you back. Whether you're a returning subscriber, a new subscriber, hi, hello, and welcome. I love you. I am sorry. Please forgive me, thank you. You know, we've all been ignorant to the true nature of who we are. We all need to give ourselves self-absolution, because we would do better if we knew better. And if we wake up one day and we're horrified, looking behind us towards the past, it's good to also look ahead of us and recognize and realize, what is it that we're doing today that we weren't doing yesterday? Something positive and beneficial. Okay, we don't need to continue to take an inventory of what went down, what went wrong, especially other people's inventory. And I said we don't need to continue to take one. Sometimes you're going to come into a truth of your own nature, and it's going to be rather hard, it's going to be rather big, and it's going to have adjectives like defects and shortcomings. So take an inventory then, when you're at the edge of the end of a crisis and there's no longer urgency and it's now importance, so that you can make proper investments. Okay, but don't continue to take an inventory looking behind you, especially the same one. It's always good when you're going through who, what, when, where, why, what they did, how it happened, what you did, what you didn't do, how it happened, why it happened. It's always good to stop and say, hey, I'm going to stop today, right now, and look back to then, so that I know what happened, so I can move on from here into the future. The moment you come into a list, lists get assigned, okay? It's a person, place, or thing on a list. It's task-oriented or person-oriented. List has science and occult technology to it. So whenever you're taking an inventory, make sure it's about what can be changed in the future, and make sure it distills down value. Walk away with value, even if you have concrete, clear answers about the whodunit and the what or the when or the why. Make sure when you're moving forward, it's value oriented for future. Okay, we don't want to keep looking back, and just summoning up, conjuring up, you know, yearning, hoping, wishing, praying, conjuring up some wounding from the past. Not positive, not beneficial, not high vibrational. When we take a list, when we take an inventory, when we process experiences, nobody's responsible for how we're feeling. Nobody's responsible for how we're thinking. Yes, somebody else can create an emotion. They can create an idea at the time that experience took place. The environment, the location, and the person, place, and thing exist in time and space. So yeah, okay, you walk away feeling and thinking something. Those things are going to impress upon you. They're going to inform your experience. They're going to affect how you act in the future, and they're going to color the results that you get. It's either going to be different from what happened in the past or the same of what happened in the past. They're going to reinforce and reinforce and reinforce. But when you take your inventory, any mutable month is an inventory month, especially Gemini, Sagittarius, but most particularly Virgo and Pisces. But we're taking things right now in inventory about relationships. People, places, and things, and our relationships to them. So this is none of your business, but I'm going to share it anyways, just as a model so I can get onto the messages because they're coming through. I'm just going to cut to the chase. I'm going to give you my inventory. I'm not, but I'm going to give it to you. Okay, so here's the conversation. I have a practice that I revisit daily around my attachments to the emotionality that people, places, and things create in my life, and how my life can become unmanageable, also known as create suffering, when I over leverage my attachment to said people, places, and things, and I put that attachment in front of my daily practice. So when I don't practice devotion to the goddess, when I don't practice the use of my spiritual gifts, and when I prioritize the attachment to the emotionality that people, places, and things create in my life, I suffer. I experience suffering because my struggles, pain, austerity to cleanse and purify become unmanageable, become overbearing. I forget and I get caught up in the experience instead of what the experience is come to deliver as a message. So I just condensed it down. That's my inventory. It's basically my inventory statement. So whenever I have a situation and I go through my stuff, it always distills down to the nitty gritty of what I just said. Okay, I'm attached to a person, a place, or a thing. I'm stressing about the emotional reality that I was in when I was interfacing with this person, place, or thing. And I'm placing this attachment before the real truth of my life, my own true nature, which I can only remember when I'm in service to the goddess, which is my devotional path and my spiritual practice of, omens. I'm an argument, a divination by omens. Okay, and it's the same thing for anybody. Whatever you place before your practice, you will lose, and that could be a man, that could be some money. A man is on a plan, and men are here to serve. Women embody the goddess. The power is vested in them. Men are the supreme commanders of said power, but they are lords through mastery. Men are elected, women are appointed, meaning one person was born and the other person got voted in. So let's get into these messages. I'll explain more. I'm sure I just threw a wrench in your system there. So let them eat cake. I just heard that. Okay, and I'm hearing, a twin flame is a member of the soul group that's anchored into the physical. Okay, so a twin flame is the physical emanation of your spiritual union anchored into the physical, the member of your soul group. So when you have your spiritual practice and devotional path down point, what will happen is you will already be in a union with the divine, and that union will step out of the physical out of the spiritual, into the physical, the member of the soul group. And it'll create opportunities for healing where you'll need to process your own shadow nature. You'll need to confront something that's alive in you, and it'll be projected onto you by this other person. See, the thing is, we're attracting whatever's alive in us. So if we're stuck on stupid, we're going to attract a karmic partnership. And if we're growing towards the divine, unifying with the divine, we're going to attract a twin flame. Your twin flame is you, anchored into the physical, to remember the soul group as a mirror, a sacred mirror. So the first symbology of the sacred mirror is the Venus Oshun, where she's staring at herself. That's the symbol of Venus. Awareness of the reality, just add the little moon on top, it becomes Mercury. So Mercury and Venus are very clear in the sacred union. You need Venus devotion. Well, that's true. Affection dissolves boundaries, and when you withdraw affection in a relationship, especially with a woman, the moment she leaves, the foundation crumbles. So let's get in here. I have the sermons coming out of me, as you can see. The messages are coming out of me, as you can see. Let's read this sermon. The Victor of Mariam. If you're longing to caress the moon, do not turn away from it. If you are not ill, why do you crawl under a blanket to hide? You are in a quarry of sweets. Why do you look so sour? You live in the spring of light, of life. Why are you so withered inside? Do not fight against yourself. Do not flee from what could be your glory. Like a fearless moth, dive into the flame. Why be linked to your obsessions? Burn out in the flames until your heart and your soul are enlightened. Get out of that old carcass and form yourself a new body. Why are you so afraid of a fox when you are descended from lions? Why be a lame ass donkey when you have the strength of stallions? The beloved you will seek shall arrive to open the door to your fortune. For love is the key that opens all locks. If you're longing to caress the moon, do not turn away from it. If you are not ill, why do you crawl under a blanket to hide? You are in a quarry of sweets. Why do you look so sour? You live in the spring of life. Why are you so withered inside? Do not fight against yourself. Do not flee from what could be your glory. Like a fearless moth, dive into the flame. Why be linked to your obsessions? Burn out in the flames until your heart and your soul are enlightened. Get out of your old carcass and form yourself a new body. Why are you so afraid of a fox when you are descended from lions? Why be a lame ass when you have the strength of stallions? The beloved you seek will arrive to open the door to your fortune, for love is the key that opens all of your locks. So the ascendant card here is Yi Amanti, the lovers, La Metrice, and I'm hearing the word duodenum inside. So I'll leave that right there. Different structure, different folks. That's about sacred union of divine opposites, divine union of sacred opposites. First thing I see with the lovers card is yin yang. It's about a choice. It's about a head or heart decision. It's also about, are you at the heavenly vibration? So I think Indra Loka, I think Svagloka, I think Indra, I think Apsaras. They usually when I'm hearing music. Apsaras is a type of Gandhava, celestial dancing angel. That's what an Apsara is. And that heaven is not the heaven for most enlightened people, but that is a heaven, especially for the unenlightened down here. So for me, it's like, okay, you can't experience sweetness. You cannot have fulfillment in your life. Things don't merge well. They don't grow together if you are not satiated inside. You can't receive love if you don't have love for yourself. You cannot satisfy yourself if you're thirsty all the time. And if you don't have something to stand for, you will fall for anything. So that's this lover's card. It's the ancestors, it's all of the community of your friends, and it is the love in your life. Now, love is not always physical, congenial intimacy. Love is when you want to contribute to what's alive. in the other person, in the other party. If you want to stimulate the well-being of the nature, the well of their being. So this is things that are heavenly, that are divine, that are life-giving. And the victory of Miriam is about satiating the thirst by giving to what is alive in you, calling to you. I'm that person. Oftentimes a blessing will come along and it requires work. I don't know what that looks like. I can think of specific examples, but the generality is like, okay, life is asking you to grow and you're but like, wait. I don't want a new pair of pants because I just grew an inch. I really like these jeans and how they hug my butt. You know, example. It's a foolish example, but an example, right? Or I know you're giving me a brand new car, universe, but I really like this old car because I really know exactly immediately where the air conditioner dials are. I don't want to learn a new car. You know, little things like that. That's the victory of Miriam. When you feel that you are so mortal and I know that you are divine, you feel like you're not ready for the task, and I know that triumph is the only momentous step you have to take. You reach to me for protection. I'm reading from a book here for the sermon. You reach to me for protection, but you are me, beloved. And the protection that you seek is already within you. We are not apart, says the divine. I am living through you, all that you are and all that you love, and all that you have lost and all that you offer to me in surrender. I am in you as your courage and your magnificence. I am in you. And any task that I send to you is simply one of the tasks in which you were born for. You are an eagle with wings, ready to soar. So I pushed you from the cliff top so you may know yourself. Are you the being in your life that affirms success? Do you affirm your own self-assurance, or do you look out into the world and become scared to engage with the world? Do the things that come across your sacred divine path scare you, or do they empower you? Do they enforce addiction to be broken in half, full of defects and shortcomings, or do they encourage growth, healing, recovery, which is renewal, expansion, vitality? Do they bring out self-worth and value? Do they bring out strength, courage, and wisdom? Do they bring out faith, hope, and optimism for a bigger, brighter, and better future? What are the currencies you're using? Are they your spiritual, eternal currencies of creativity, faith, hope, imagination? Are they materialistic currencies that divide you from your nature, which means you're spending your eternity for right now? You're spending your time to get a little bit of money. You're exchanging a piece of your forever for a little bit right now. Are you fearful of love, which is really a personification of the connection with yourself? Are you fearful of the path not taken? Because if you'd rather regret the things that you did versus the things you didn't do, you may be ready. So let's get in here. I need Jupiter. Okay, well, that was actually rather quick. And it's on the bottom, so it's not going where it's supposed to go. Good. Okay, so we're not dismissed. Ooh, okay. Losing power. I would feel for distractions. because you need to push through delays, and typically the delays are of the thoughts. So again, I was saying, like, if you haven't recognized the self, realized the self, if your true nature is unclear to you, the external ideas driving you to create your life path, driving you to go down your mission, karma, life path, destiny are not in alignment with your path, not in alignment with your guidance. Okay, yeah, we do need to love on others, be a public servant for others, but if we haven't mastered our own mind, if we don't know our own side of the road, if we don't know who we are, we're always trying to be something that we're not. So this all starts out with a new love. But if you can't take stands in love by your deepest need calling out, becoming who you were always meant to be, becoming in alignment with your lower natures, realizing the parts of yourself that up until recently you've been neglecting or unwilling or unable to show up and be present with. If cold hard truth comes out and you're traumatized, out of alignment, because then you would be perceiving, okay, here's how you can measure. Are you generally lacking hope, lacking faith, lacking optimism, believing in the worst, pessimistic, depressed when a conversation comes? So a conversation comes and immediately afterwards you're feeling down all the time. So that's what needs to be cleared away. Taking stands in this relationship will require alignment, because right now, if this isn't empowering us, this connection is going to be pushed away as we go toward our life path. Excuse me, just one moment. So our life path is the thing we're supposed to do, the thing we come to this world to do. We might be overly optimistic about this connection, and it's not that the connection isn't right for us. We're losing power because we're investing the wrong energy into it. So the energy we need to be putting into our career, we might be putting into a connection, or the energy that we are putting into our career, we need to put into the connection. So the way to test that theory would be, who's the priority? Because a man should not be priority number one, because that means the man is your God. I don't know how else to say that. I'm so sorry, my love. If your priority is a man, I'm sorry, that man is your God. If your priority is a career, a work, your priority, that priority is your job, God. Now, more precisely, you're giving God duties and responsibilities, and you should use your gift from God to make the world a better place. And by being out in the marketplace, meaning the surface of the earth, using your gift to make the world a better place, that is part of the fulfillment of your duty to God. So if the first thing on your mind when you wake up in the morning is a man, not union, not partnership, and not that union and partnership being an embodiment of your God relationship, out of alignment. Pushing through delays, the delays have to deal with not being and having victories with your own creativity, and the creativity is work-wise. And so the reason that some of the conflicts in the relationship are the way that they are is because you're married to this idea, and this idea has manifested as a karmic person. For some of us, not all of us, and this still is the 1111 part of it. So there's no, we're not talking about, if our focus is the person and not, it's ladies, and it's not the love that we feel in devotion to this person, not the actual person, but what we feel towards. If the focus is anything other than what we feel towards them, out of alignment, bad break, miscarriage of justice. What happens is the energy that we're putting towards this person should be going towards work, and the work isn't about the money, it's not about the work, it's about the gift that was given to us by the Creator that we need to give to the world. Now, in doing that, sharing our gift with the world, we actually become our true self. And then when we become our true self and we show up to the union, that's the shift. That's when the healing can happen for the connection, and you can move from soulmates and catalytic partners to twin flames. Okay. So we're not dismissed yet. I'm hearing naked eyes. Don't send me no flowers, please. No, no, no. Okay. Okay. So now we're talking directly to the divine feminine. Mm-hmm. All right, so yeah. Okay, I just had to let that out. Sometimes, excuse me, the messages can be verbose, which means too many words, gorgeous. Verbiage, yeah, we clamp it down. Verbose, person who talks too much, verbose. The messages can be rather verbose, and the way that I see it in my mind's eye is like, I have to tune the dial down. First of all, just tune into the right station so the messages aren't plentiful. And then also so the content, the volume level is down, just turn the dials. So I like it because the whole time I'm channeling that last round there, I'm just thinking like, geez, I would love to shut up. And they heard me. I have to let this out. I don't mean to be giggling here, but I'm amused because I was like, please do not keep me here. I just cannot keep talking forever. Okay. So still same header, soul union, the ancestors. Basically, when I say ancestors, why am I talking about your ancestors? Your ancestors can't, love you down during the night. Love, that's true love and devotion. The people who come before you, who walk beside you, who lay beneath you, both known and unknown, lost in the seas of time, everybody that has spilled their blood and their flesh to get you to the path that you're on right now, that is true love and devotion. And it's not one you can understand in the body other than veneration, meaning respect. I'm just going to leave it right there and keep it moving. So this love can shift. We're at a precipice right now where tomorrow, next week, next month, at the latest, it's either going to go left or right, either going to go to hell or heaven, either going to go good or bad. And I don't like strong, firm duality like that. I love polarities, but not duality. But that's the message. So we're at a place right now where the judgment is happening in heaven. It's not even the judgment. There's a cycle going on right now that will culminate, and the judgment or the sorting facility, the processing, the judgment criterion is the quality of your mind, the cleanliness of your mind. Are your thoughts about your practice? Are they about your path? Are they about your spirit, karma, life path, destiny? Are they about your beliefs? And these are heavenly beliefs, divine beliefs, ones that have to deal with holy scripture, holy teaching, holy things, holy people, things that have to deal with pontificates. So basically planting the seed of God in your life and letting it grow and sprout, and allowing that growth and sprouting to consume you so that you're in the heavenly effulgence instead of like a devil tree, instead of a God tree planted in your garden, So where all your fruits that are ripening and the fruits that are being plucked, what are they? Heavenly, divine, and okay, demonic, devilish. It means separate. It means selfish. It means covered in darkness. It means out of alignment with conditional love, out of alignment with sovereign grace, which is unity. Everything is one. That's sovereign grace. Okay, and because when you're everything is one in sovereign grace, you have the goodness of God in you, and with that goodness of God, the full card in you, basically you always get that divine protection. And sometimes you'll go through trials and tribulations, but the goodness in you and the genuine seeking from that good, innocent, pure place, that's your key to the promised land. And the other person is eventually going to have their judgment because they're not, or the other person, person, thing, entity, energy, okay? If it's not coming from that pure place of sovereign grace, they'll eventually their energy will consume themselves eventually. You know, it's like when you screwed out of haterade and didn't even know, or you just walked into the gates of hell and hugged and kissed the devil on the cheek and didn't even know, and you walked out and then you see the building blow up or whatever, and you were just completely clueless. That kind of energy. So that's the judgment criteria here. Heaven is making a judgment right now. They're on a cycle, and it's not about judging, assigning, labeling, sorting. It's about reconciliation. Okay, we're going to tidy up the room now. Things go back where they go. Okay, you were free form, free will. Now you're going to be put in place according to your energy body. How are you vibrating? And those are your mental thought forms. So thought is frequency, emotions is vibration, body is energy. So your thoughts, frequency, become emotions, vibration, which becomes energy, body. Okay, so frequency, energy, vibration. However that is, that's where the judgment comes from. And let me be clear, my dear, ladies, excuse me, we'll try to keep it clean, but honey, we gotta talk. Here's how it goes. I mean, okay, a man is not a plan, but a man is a wonderful distraction. And it's empowering to know that you are in command enough to command, if you know what I mean, to attract, to entice from the universe in a sacred dance through a sacred union. So how does that work? Ecstasy. Excuse me, we're going to talk about this. Ecstatic bliss. Okay, so the queen bees of the world, let's talk about this. When people think you're unbothered and uncaring because you're just underwhelmed and uninterested, okay? So that is an energy of being able to give to yourself. I don't need a man. I could sit there and rock back and forth and pray to God and be so filled with love and ecstatic bliss that a man literally will be a distraction, nothing more. For me, I could sit back and eat a golden delicious apple on top of the washing machine and be just good, just fine. So it's when you close your eyes and you take in a deep breath from the center of your soul, there's ecstasy, there's joy, there's fulfillment. That's the threshold. Prophecies, visions, premonitions, where the knowing comes from a place unknown, but all else is known. It's when the needs of your soul, when the urgings of your eternal spirit manifest by thought frequency alone. It's when the thoughts you have on a Monday are manifesting and anchoring into your life sign still delivered on a Thursday. When you close your eyes and you can sense him, smell him, feel him, taste him, and he is the divine masculine. I mean, cloaked in white, veiled. Okay. That's the mysteries. I get very weepy when I talk about God this way, and it just makes the little bitch come right out of me, you know. Excuse me. So I'm having all these heart palpitations and divine ecstasy for the Great Spirit right now. And the moon card, of course, wanted to take an audience, which for me, whoa. You know, in Africa, the Nigerians, they have their dambala. I don't like to say that name. For me, he's Dattatreya. I call him Dattatreya. And he's the father of the gurus. And to me, he's the chief supreme of the consigliere, which is the counselors, the ones who live the priestly path. You know, a lot of time his children, they're Obatala, the Sky Father. But for me, he's the light that you see in the dark. So when you're alone and you let your heart hurt for a day, for a week, and you lean into the suffering, which is just pain of the cut, and the cut is in a place that's very tender, like your heart. And you know, the only thing that you can walk out of the experience with is the faith and the strength alive in you. So yeah, I mean, we also, I don't like to say this name, Papa D. That's it. The Mamida like to say, but the Nigerians call him Olokun. He's the father at the bottom of the sea. You know, I like him at the river, but the father at the bottom of the sea. He's the moon. He's the eye of Tahuti as well, but also when Shiva looks upon you with compassion, so we're having a lot of trauma. You know, for me, I don't know. Again, I do know. I just don't want to share. Let's not make this about me. For me, how I see things. For me, how I see things. How I've seen things. How they've come clear, become known. The mysteries revealed. We're distracted. Life is very precious and we're all asleep. We're distracted. And love is in front of us, in us, in our hand all the time. And everything about life and surviving in the new world, in the third dimension, especially in the English-speaking areas, it's designed to distract you from the most essential truth, which is that devotion is right here, within grasp at all times. So what is it? What is the distraction and what is the solution? Anything you place before your joy, anything you place before your grace, anything, you place before your eternal self, you will lose. Now, sometimes you become enslaved to something. So what you're losing is the joy of that thing, even though that thing doesn't leave your life. That thing actually takes the place of your God. God is an omnipresent consciousness that you can channel in the physical when you understand the sacred witness. When you can see what the generation, what the operation, and what the destruction of life is, and you're conscious of the changes in the phenomena, meaning you're aware and you can perceive the phenomena in the universe. That's God. There's source and there's creation, which is not God. Source created God. The creator is not the created. So when you're taking something that's created and you're giving all of your everything to it, it's taking the place of your creator. Without an awareness of creator, he cannot come to you. If God cannot come to you, he will not appear to you, the divine masculine. When the divine masculine comes, it's because he, the creator, is ready to be with you. And you are the created. So if the creator is ready to experience and appreciate, enjoy his creation, it's perfect. But perfection and perfected are not the same thing. Perfected is a past tense. Perfection is present. And the only thing you need to be perfect is to be filled with love for him. Now, if you're divine masculine, it works just a little tiny bit differently. Your awareness of the sacred feminine needs to be your desire to revere the divine grace. So every female represents the great mother, and you have a love for the great mother and you serve her. So your job as the divine masculine is to place her back on her throne, to return her to her sovereignty. And as you do need to destroy her, which means put mind over matter, create, a foundation on the earth. If you write on a piece of paper, a tree got destroyed. If you build a house, it had to carve out some wild forest once upon a time. You don't need to have violence towards women, but you do need to apologize for it all the time, because when you cultivate the forest, that is a form of violence. When you eat a plant, that is a form of violence. And so the love and the reverence for the few men watching, there's 84% of the audience is women and 90% of, 84% of the audience to this series is women. 90+% of the audience to the channel is women. So, that's just something for y'all, for the divine masculine who need to hear. We've had the channel, the sermons came through. I calmed down, I suppose. Something came through me, it's gone. There's a lack of time here because we're believing in the worst when we really need to be servants, when we serve the other through love and grace because we're connected to this source. There's a difference between things coming through you and things coming from you. When you are a servant of the Lord, when you are a creature of the divine and you're doing that sacred work, it's different. When you're in your ego and your lower self and you're trying to abate your fears by making another person change their whatever so that you can feel better about yourself, so the sacred honoring ritual, with your hands in prayer at your forehead, breathe in and breathe out. And if you can, allow your mind to become still. Then say aloud, I call on Miriam, I call on Miriam, who loves me without condition, to bring me faith, and Rumi, who loves me unconditionally, to bring me oneness with the great beloved. I call upon the unconditional, loving wisdom of life and my own divine essence. I give thanks for all that is. I give thanks for all the light that will be born from the darkness. And I give thanks for all the fullness of my being coming into expression now. I give thanks for the grace and the mercy that guides my way. And I surrender into the love that is leading me into my divine destiny now. So be it. close your eyes and bow your head to your hands in prayer again. And still your mind, if you can, for several moments. When you feel ready, simply open your eyes and you have completed this honoring ritual. Again, fold your hands in prayer to your forehead. Then say out loud, I call on Miriam, who loves me without condition, to bring me faith. And I call upon Rumi, who loves me unconditionally, to bring me oneness with the great beloved. I call upon the unconditional loving wisdom of life in my own divine essence. And I give thanks for all that is. I give thanks for the light that will be born from the darkness. And I give thanks for the fullness of my being coming into expression now. I give thanks for the grace and the mercy that guides my way. And I surrender into the love that is leading me into my divine destiny now. So be it. So Rumi, remember I was saying that Dattatreya, Papa D, Rumi is to me the same energy. Yeah. So I want to give thanks. I want to give thanks to the Mamida. I want to give thanks to the Mamiwata. I want to give thanks to the Vodunsis and the sacred spiritual children and all the spiritual people watching this channel. I want to love you. I want to honor you. I want to thank you. I want to praise you. Thank you for your gift. Thank you for the medicine that you bring. Thank you for the path that you're on. Thank you for the journey that you're walking. Thank you for the sacred gift to give some guidance here to you today. It is an honor and a privilege and a pleasure. And I thank you. Ho'onoponopono. I'm sorry. I love you. Please forgive me. Thank you. If things have been confusing for you, unkind to you, deeply, from the very core of my being, I send you love, I send you honor, I send you faith, I send you grace. May you be well, may you be happy, may you be free, may you be at peace, may you walk through the world and see beauty, serenity, and grace, always fulfilling your divine purpose and your soul mission to the Creator. It's been an honor and a pleasure to serve you today. Thank you for allowing me the privilege and the pleasure to do so. Again, if anything that was said resonates deeply with you, there's resources for you in the show notes. Again, my name is Serene Priestess Gorgeous, also known as the Blosi Baba, also known as Safkiel. Until we meet again, until we read again, Namaste, Dandavat, and Ashe. My email address is baba@ablosi.org, or you can reach us at sales@vertexofabundance.org. Please take good care. Bye-bye.